welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I'm going to go over a story titled, My Fiancée, a 30-year-old female, was accused by her sister of cheating on me. She swears her sister sabotaging our relationship, and I'm questioning everything. How do I move forward? And a shout to Nishad for sending in this story. And guys, this story is about a guy who's dumping his fiancée not too long before the wedding, after, like the title said, he found out from her sister, of all people, that she was cheating on him. And wait till you find out the BS reason that she was cheating on him. It's all too typical. And I'll be going to go over here, guys, that this stuff's all too common nowadays right before the big day, and you must be very careful. And let me tell you, it's nice to hear a story where it's said this happens, but a guy dodges a big one before the big day. So it starts off, says here, I'm 28, and I'm having a real fight with my fiancée right now. I never felt so unsure in our relationship. I need an outside perspective. Some context here. We are college sweethearts. She's always been there. She was my first love and best friend. She's my other half. We're in the thick of wedding plans. My fiancé pretty much had the same friend group since college. I get along with them, but mostly they're her friends. Our most consistent fight is with one particular friend, a 30-year-old guy who I will call Caleb. Here we go. Enter the male friend, which is never a good idea. And you know what? You can already see there's drama about this Caleb character, who's a big part of this story. If she truly loved her guy, Caleb wouldn't be in the picture. I'm not upset about her having a guy friend. My issue is the lack of boundaries and zero respect. This dude doesn't know boundaries, and nor does he respect our relationship. That's because probably either he's always carried a torch for her, or he's always been doing her. This is when the guy should lay down the law and establish your boundaries, saying, sweetheart, we're going to have a life together, a future together, and Caleb's out. He doesn't respect me, doesn't respect our relationship, him or me. And that's what you do. He's always out of pocket, giving lingering hugs or finding some excuse to touch her, and he just hovers. He gifted her jewelry once for her birthday. Even during dates, he'll hit up her phone. He looks like the guy who's waiting to come off the bench. So he's been in the friend zone. And she knows it, and she enjoys the attention, and she doesn't care. I've expressed my concerns about him. For the most part, my fiancée brushes it off, or brushes me off. She'll say I'm being insecure, that he's her oldest friend, and I should just trust her. This is where the guy messed up. And oh yeah, smack to him. Situation like this, guys, if your girl's dismissing your genuine concerns and issues about something, that tells you everything you need to know. And as the story goes, you're going to see why she's brushing it off. Insecure my ASS. Well, recently my fiancée and her sister, maid of honor, who I'll call Kat for clarity, had a bad falling out. I only knew some nasty stuff was said, and that Kat had accused her of being a bridezilla and a bad sister. Well, given how this story goes, I think Kat's right. They fought before, but never anything like this. My fiancé kicked Kat out of the wedding. Whoa! So they had a cat fight. The other day, Kat reached out to me about my fiancé being unfaithful and untruthful. She claims that the group's New Year's Eve party, my fiancé made out with Caleb at midnight and later left with him. Whoa! That's quite the accusation. Now let's see, today's January, what the hell is it, 28th? Something like that, 29th. New Year's was not too long ago. I want to know exactly when this all went down when he found this information. And was his sister going to reveal this to him? You know, if they didn't have that big fight? But what's done is done. Usually my fiancé and I spend New Year's Eve together, but I couldn't get this time off this year. Apparently Caleb was laying it on thick with my fiancé the entire party, and she entertained his advances. Attention and validation. My fiancé ignored Kat's attempts to talk her down. She said my fiancé said it was her last New Year's Eve before lockdown referring to being married. This chick is referring to the marriage as the lockdown. What does that say? It was a lot to process. My initial instinct was to shut Kat down. Despite our issues with Caleb, I did trust my fiancé. But I couldn't ignore how much Kat's story matched my doubts. Dude, regardless of Kat's motives here, this is something you can't dismiss. Well, that night, we were supposed to have to FaceTime at midnight, but she was ghosting. She was ghosting that whole night, and she'd been weird ever since. I don't know, then right after the party, she'd been implementing boundaries with Caleb. Kat admitted she initially covered for my fiance. She pushed her to come clean before the wedding, and that's the real reason they fell out. She felt I deserved the truth. I didn't say much. I was too numb to feel anything. Okay, I was wondering if this fight had to do with him, that the sister, said, hey, you can't do this. He's a good man. You got to tell him. How dare you? I mean, she said she covered her at first. That ain't good, but still. I didn't rush to confront my fiance, but she could tell I was off and kept asking. When I did confront her, she was all over the place. She went into the whole cat rant, but I could tell this was her chance to tell her own story. Dude, I would have confronted her immediately. She asked me to promise to hear her out before confessing to flirting and the kiss with Caleb, but swore nothing else happened, and she didn't refer to us getting married as lockdown. It doesn't matter if anything else happened. You kissed him. You lied to me. And all this time you've been dismissing me like I'm some kind of jackass, calling me controlling and insecure. We're done. Goodbye. I asked her why Kat would tell the truth about her making out with Caleb, which alone thoroughly crossed the line, but lied about everything else. She insists Kat's trying to sabotage our relationship and that she's a jealous brat. She said the kiss meant nothing. She was caught up in the moment. I'm the one she wants to be with. Yeah, I can really tell that this is the guy she wants to be with. And the whole lockdown thing. She promised to do anything to regain my trust. Okay, I want to fuck your sister. Including cutting Caleb off fully. Oh, now she wants to cut Caleb off. She said we're starting our lives together, we're what matters, and I shouldn't let Kat come between us. Man, what a lying snake. I wasn't receptive to her. We fought, and I told her I needed space to think. Ever since then, she's been super affectionate. She still swears she didn't hook up with Caleb, and that Kat's sabotaging. But she did admit she was making out with Caleb. That doesn't matter. She didn't go beyond that. Who cares? I mean, okay, I would care, but still. But I can't ignore what I already know about the possibility of everything else Kat said being true. My world has crashed down. The wedding's all set. It's all around the corner. Who cares? Cancel it. At the end of the day, it's likely that her family, because it's traditional, the bride's family pays for the majority of the wedding. They're going to take the hit. I feel so numb. I'm in love with my fiancée. She's my best friend, but I'm questioning everything. I don't know what to believe anymore. I feel like an idiot. I get that he's kind of feeling like he's in the middle here. I got this sister telling me this, and my fiancé telling me this, and I really don't want to break up. But then again, your fiancé's telling you she made out with that asshole. But also, she's a big asshole for going along with this. And nobody here believes for a second that she and Caleb weren't getting frisky and getting down before. How do I move forward in my relationship when I'm lost as hell? What you do is you go to somebody that you can truly count on to give you an objective opinion, like hopefully your dad or your brother or one of your bros. You don't go to her family, you don't go to her friends, you don't go to her. But regardless, it's over. How the fuck old is he? I think he's 28. 28! 20 years younger than me. He can heal, he can move on and hopefully find somebody better. Or guess what? Don't need to get married at all. Now on to part 2, we find out what's really going on. Is thank you all to everyone who reached out and for sharing your own experiences. I found out the outside perspective I needed. I wanted to give an update. I knew I wasn't going to get a clear picture from my fiance's friend/group and bridesmaids. We get along, but they're more her friends, and they have this thing on loyalty to each other. They aren't telling me anything at her expense. Well, of course they're not. If they're not jealous of her and don't want to sabotage her relationship, or they don't have the hots for this guy, then of course they're going to remain loyal. But if one of them had the hots for this guy or wanted to sabotage it, then they tell him. You're never going to get an answer out of them. I wasn't approaching Caleb either because I don't have the patience for a civil conversation with him. He always had this, is it something I said attitude about him regarding my fiancé? He's not worth it. Well, he's not worth it, but then again, if it was a dark night and nobody was around and he got clocked in the face, and hey, what the hell. So I talked to her sister Kat again. I trust her the most because we're actually friends. I was friends with her before I met my fiancé. Kat said my fiancé avoided talking about New Year's Eve, especially over text. Most of the arguments were in person, but she showed my text from shortly after New Year's Eve where my fiancé alluded to hooking up with Caleb in his car that night. She texted how it's in her past and she's embracing the future. How is it in the past? Yeah, it happened 35 minutes ago, but it's in the past. Now it's all about the future. Everything my fiancée already confessed to was painful enough. But I don't know, seeing those texts made it real in a way it wasn't before. There was regret in her text, but it didn't make me feel any better. Please, she doesn't regret shit. I confronted my fiancée once again, and I knew immediately by her eyes. She came clean on everything. Ah, how interesting, and there's no way she came clean on everything. She thought Kat deleted those texts. As the wedding got close, she worried she was missing out on stuff her single friends indulged in. There you go. This is what happens when married women or engaged women or women in serious relationships hanging out with single girls. And by the way, this chick is 30. In her mind, oh my God, I'm not going to be young again. It has to have her final roll in the hay, even though it ain't going to be a final roll in the hay. She sought validation from Caleb and fooled around with him on New Year's Eve. In her own words, she had a temporary high when he chased her, but left worse about feeling by herself after the hookup. Still didn't stop her. She claims that New Year's Eve showed her what was important and that she wasn't missing out on anything. She was reassured about the path that we chose. Oh, okay, honey, that makes sense. I feel better now. Now that you were making out with Caleb and hooking up with him and all that, doing Lord knows what, and now you know you want me after doing that whole thing, I feel better. We can move on. Bullshit, asshole. I was too numb to talk. I only listened. She kept asking me to say something, but I couldn't. Up until this point, I gave her my all, and it wasn't enough. I felt her actions spoke plenty. She kept apologizing. She said Caleb was her biggest regret, and she didn't want to lose me over him. Tough shit, asshole. Too late. She still tried ranting about Kat's motives not being noble. I told her Kat's motive doesn't matter, not to change the truth. Kat's the only one who's been honest with me. You know, the only thing the girlfriend hasn't done yet is said that, oh, Kat's jealous. Kat has a crush on you. This guy totally needs to bang Kat. I'm sure most of us can agree. As long as Kat's remotely good looking. If Kat's like a fucking 2, then forget it. You know, but if Kat's at least a 6, you know, kind of cute, fair enough. She asked if I could find it myself to move past this. She said she loves me and she's fully committed to us. She said Caleb means nothing to her and he'll have no place in her life anymore. She wants our life together. I mean, like, you can have Caleb all you want, because I'm out of here. I couldn't tell her what she wanted. I told her I was calling off the wedding and I needed space. Wow! Just going to go full Tusken Raider in 5 seconds. I try not to make any major decisions when my emotions are high. Doing so has never been good for me, but I can't go through with the wedding. Thank the Lord, man. I was getting worried about you when I first read this. Well, she was against canceling. Well, naturally. She said, this isn't how our story goes. And she's still the same woman I wanted to marry. No, you're not. And this is how the fucking story goes. This ain't your fairy tale, sweetheart. She asked me not to give up on us. But the same way her mind was made up on New Year's Eve, my mind was made up on this decision. Amen. And no, you gave up on us, Sugar Muffin. At first, she refused to let me leave. She clung to me and even jumped into my car. She cried a lot, and I've never seen her this way. It felt wrong to leave her like that. Smack! Dude, really? My first instinct was to comfort her, but I could not. I've been hurt before, but she hurt me deeply in a way only she could. Yes, my man, she did. But you're doing the right thing. Now tell her to get off the fucking hood of your car, wherever the hell she is, and drive the hell out of there. And go bang Kat. I was so sure about our relationship. She was my partner in every sense. In my heart, I was already committed to our vows. The actual wedding was just a public declaration for me. We've been together since I was 18 years old. Our lives are intertwined in every way. We built a life together. Sometimes she'd act so superior about our relationship compared to those of her friends. Maybe that's why they are, who knows, maybe they were egging her on to get together with Kat because she was acting so superior. She says she's still the same person I love, but the fact that our love wasn't enough for her not to cross the line with Caleb, I'm not sure I can move past this. Brother, you can't. You will always be thinking about this. She'll be back cheating on somebody. If it ain't Caleb, it's somebody else. All of our family and friends have been informed of the cancellation. I was embarrassed, but I just plainly stated infidelity on her part. I didn't have it within me to retell the whole story. Well, make sure you control the narrative as much as you can, even though it's embarrassing. Everybody's been very understanding, but I still feel guilty. Some have limited means and already spent money and took time off work to come. I feel bad. Our relationship has a lot of support from our families, people who wanted to show up for us, and she threw everything away for Caleb. Don't feel bad. She should feel bad. You'd be getting married to her if she wasn't a Jezebel. Jessica Jezebel. The people that are of limited means and have already bought a plane ticket and booked a hotel and can't get refunds, let her deal with it, And if they're your friends and family, if they really care about you, shit, let them come out. Y'all can get together for a barbecue, a breakup party or something like that. But it's far worse if you married the harpy. My fiance's parents reached out advocating for me and my fiance to reconcile. Well, of course they did. But I haven't replied yet. I'm not in that headspace. I consider her family my family. I feel like I lost them too. I don't know how we went from being about to get married and discussing our honeymoon together to the whole world being on fire. Dude, I know this is hurting and terrible, but believe me, this is not the world on fire. I don't know where to go or what our future holds. I'm trying to take it one day at a time. Thanks again to everyone for the support and for hearing me out without judgment. It means a lot. Brother, we're with you. Now block her ass and have nothing to do with her because she's going to keep trying and trying because she's 30 years old now. She knows the game is up. It ain't going to be as easy as it was when she was younger to get guys. And I guarantee you she's not going to be with Caleb, and Caleb probably is not going to be interested in her. Somebody's not going to be interested in one of them. But you got to take it day by day to get through this. He's been with her since he's 18 years old. He's 28. That's a big chunk of his life. And that's understandable. Be happy with someone. Your gut told you, end it. Listen to your gut. Move on. One day at a time. Spend time with people that you care about, that care about you, your friends, your family, And in time, you're going to be all right. But you should not have anything to do with her. I hope you don't live together. That makes things more complicated. And mark my words, she will be trying to get you back and promise you the world. Don't fall for it. If her friends try to shame you, if her family tries to shame you, don't fall for that either, One day at a time. And in time, and it could take a few years to totally be over her, being realistic, you're going to be okay. But just be very careful who you get involved with in the future. And if you have the opportunity and her sister is a 6 or above, bang this sister. Why not? Life is short. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.